Machiavelli. The name alone can spark a mix of admiration and suspicion. His writings, particularly The Prince, have influenced centuries of political thought, offering insight into the often harsh realities of power. But what if the way we view Machiavelli is all wrong? What if the Machiavellian approach to leadership isn't simply about manipulation and deceit, but about understanding the true nature of power, morality, and survival? In this video, we will peel back the layers of The Prince and explore Machiavelli's often misunderstood views on leadership, morality, and ethics. Is Machiavelli really the cynical manipulator we've been led to believe? Or is he a realist who understood that true leadership requires more than just good intentions? Let's dive into the mask of morality and uncover what Machiavelli really meant when he talked about leadership. To truly understand Machiavelli's views on leadership, we first need to consider the context in which he was writing. Born in 1469, Niccolò Machiavelli lived in Renaissance Italy, a time of political instability, constant warfare, and shifting alliances. City-states like Florence were in turmoil, and leaders came and went like waves on the shore. In this chaotic environment, Machiavelli worked as a diplomat and military officer for the Republic of Florence. He saw firsthand the ruthless political games that played out and the manipulation that often kept power in the hands of the few. In many ways, The Prince was a guide to surviving in such a world where idealism and virtue often gave way to the practical realities of ruling. Machiavelli didn't write to tell rulers to be cruel or deceitful. Rather, he wrote as a realist, offering advice on how to navigate a world where morality could not always be the leader's compass. In his view, power wasn't just about being good, it was about maintaining control and securing the future of your people, no matter what it took. At the core of Machiavelli's philosophy is a fundamental understanding of power. Power, he argues, is not given. It is taken and maintained through action, strategy, and sometimes ruthlessness. In The Prince, Machiavelli doesn't mince words. The ends justify the means. This phrase, often taken out of context, encapsulates Machiavelli's view that a ruler must do whatever is necessary to maintain power and protect the state. But this doesn't mean that Machiavelli advocates cruelty for its own sake. What he understood is that, in politics, morality is often a mask. Benevolence, generosity, and fairness can be powerful tools for a ruler, but they must be used strategically. If you can't afford to be generous, don't pretend to be. If you must be harsh, do so in a way that minimizes backlash. The true leader, in Machiavelli's view, is someone who understands that power is fluid and ever-changing, and that the appearance of morality can often be more important than morality itself. In fact, Machiavelli suggests that a ruler's reputation for being virtuous or merciful can often be more valuable than the actual virtue itself. He notes that appearances matter and that public perception can help maintain stability, even if behind closed doors, decisions are made that are less than virtuous. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Machiavelli's philosophy is his approach to morality. Many people think of him as promoting deceit and manipulation without regard for ethics. But in reality, Machiavelli was not dismissing morality altogether. He was simply recognizing that in the world of politics, morality is often relative. Think about it. What is considered moral can vary depending on the circumstances. In one situation, a ruler's ability to act with mercy may be the right choice. In another, ruthlessness may be the only way to protect the state. Machiavelli doesn't claim that a leader should be without morality. He believes that leadership requires moral flexibility. Machiavelli's views on morality are deeply pragmatic. He argues that morality, in the traditional sense, is often a luxury that leaders can't afford in times of crisis. A good leader, according to him, must be able to balance morality with pragmatism, knowing when to uphold high moral standards and when to abandon them for the greater good of the state. This is why Machiavelli is often associated with the idea that the ruler should wear a mask, appear virtuous, but do whatever is necessary to secure their position. Now let's talk about a key concept in Machiavelli's writings: virtù. Virtù is often translated as virtue, but it means much more than just moral goodness. Virtù is the quality of a leader who has the ability to shape their destiny, to take bold action when necessary, and to adapt to changing circumstances. It's the combination of courage, intelligence, decisiveness, and resilience, the traits that allow a leader to control their fate, even in the most unpredictable situations. Machiavelli's ideal leader is someone who possesses virtù, someone who can act decisively in moments of crisis, but also knows when to compromise and when to show strength. A leader with virtù doesn't let moral considerations limit their ability to act in the best interest of the state. However, they also understand that being perceived as virtuous is often just as important as being virtuous. The ability to project strength, kindness, and fairness can keep enemies at bay and encourage loyalty from allies. This balance between inner strength and outward appearances is what Machiavelli believes sets apart great leaders from the mediocre ones. True leadership, in his view, requires the ability to wear the mask of morality, while still being prepared to discard it when necessary. So, what does it all come down to? In the end, Machiavelli's philosophy is about understanding the necessity of pragmatism in leadership. The phrase, "the end justifies the means," often gets criticized, but it's crucial to understanding Machiavelli's mindset. It's not that he advocated for cruelty for the sake of cruelty. Instead, he saw power and stability as the ultimate goals of leadership. If maintaining power meant using deception, manipulation, or even cruelty, then those were acceptable tools in the leader's arsenal. However, Machiavelli also understood that there are consequences to this approach. A ruler must always be aware of the long-term effects of their actions. The mask of morality is not a permanent solution. It's a tool to maintain control in the short term. But in the long run, a leader must strike the right balance between pragmatism and the maintenance of a good reputation. Leaders who abuse their power without wisdom will ultimately face downfall. In the world of politics, Machiavelli saw that morality could be a mask to wear for the sake of power. A great leader knows when to wear it and when to discard it. Machiavelli's views on leadership are complex, controversial, and often misunderstood. He was not a cynic who wanted to destroy morality. Rather, he was a realist who recognized that true leadership often requires sacrifices of ethical purity. His mask of morality is not about abandoning virtue, but about understanding when to be virtuous and when to be strategic. Ultimately, Machiavelli teaches us that leadership is not about blind adherence to morality. It's about doing what's necessary to protect the state and maintain power. The mask of morality is a tool for surviving in a world where power is fleeting and the ability to adapt is essential.